I've been meaning to check out Rocket for a while now. One of the things that's kept me away from it is the fact that it is always about to release async support and it's about to support stable Rust. And I'd really rather stick with stable Rust. Heard not too long ago that there is a branch. I'm just trying to find it. But there is a branch that supports stable Rust. So I'm going to try to find that and get started with that. Oh, maybe it's master. And the docs don't indicate that. All right, let's check this out. Anything particularly interesting here? No, not really. Well, in the meanwhile, we may as well get started with what we've got here. Let's start off with the overview. Or maybe the guide. There we go. I'm going to start off with examples. There we go. Getting started. Yeah, so they're definitely saying to use nightly. Why not? All right. Let's start off and just see what happens if I try to do this without nightly. Let that start building. Still haven't figured out what exactly I'm going to try to build. I'm going to do something incredibly boring, I'm sure. Well, that's working. Proc macro hygiene and decal macro. Okay. That really can't be necessary anymore, right? Anyway, I do like how simple that looks. Okay, so it does require nightly. It's nice that it actually just says that directly. Let's go ahead and what approach do I want to take? Let's just use that command. I wonder if that updates VS Code. Really got to figure out how this integration works a little bit better. I would love to be able to reload, and I'm sure there's a way to do it. All right, let's check out. Oh, this is at least working. How did I get the nightly so quickly? Oh, that's right. I already had the nightly. Okay. Let's go ahead and copy their example over. Doesn't even have a port number? Huh. Okay, as a default port. That's reasonable. Actually, very reasonable. Ignite is a nice name. Noticing nothing about async in here. I did hear that the master branch was using async, so that'll probably be the first modification I make once this thing actually compiles. Okay, cool, we're in good shape. Nice, okay. Now let's close that out. Yeah, just a sec. Why isn't that loading? Hold on one sec, everyone. Oh, sorry. There you go. Okay, cool. I really got to figure out how to be able to reload that. I'm sure there's a way to reload it without shutting down VS Code. But anyway, let that run. Meanwhile, what happens if I just put an async there? Be beautiful if that actually just works. No. Might be a little bit of a deal breaker for my use cases. I am going to need async pretty early on in anything I'm doing. Let's go ahead and check out some of these branches. Doesn't mean I'm not going to play around with Rocket, but I may have to hold off on that. Oh, right, of course. I'm not using the master branch. That would be the issue. Okay. Let's go ahead and try switching over. Always get the syntax on this wrong, but let's give it a shot. What was this? It was probably have to look this up. Family's waking up over here, so I'm probably not going to get as much time to play around with this as I wanted. That's okay. Yeah, Levy wants to come in and say hi. He probably will get to come in and say hi. I can't believe I got the syntax right the first time. I always screw up the Git syntax. Okay. We'll let that build. If we're lucky, now I'm going to be able to go back to having async in place. And that would be very pleasant. But let's continue with looking at some of the documentation. Routing validation. So routing is it's in handlers. Daddy. Hey, Lovey, come on in. Wanna come say hi? I did say hi. Oh, you did say hi. Okay. See you later. All right. Let's see what's going on here. The route needs to be mounted. Oh, okay. So it is not. First, I thought this was duplication, but it's not. So you give it a list of routes. All of those routes get mounted at a certain point. Okay, fair enough. When a route is declared inside a module, okay. Here's because routes, okay. All right, fine. So you've got to be explicit. All right, that's fair enough. One of the things I liked in the documentation, it did reference Yesod as being similar to this. So I'd much rather not have to learn a new way of doing web development if I can. Okay. All right, so what's going on? This is fine, fair enough. It has to. It doesn't have to compile all of Tokyo. Oh, and it's still in Tokyo 0.2. Not the worst thing in the world. Guess I could always clone it and play around with moving it up to Tokyo 1.0 and the newest hyper. That would be a fun little side project. All right. Type of dynamic methods. Cool. Automatic head handling, also nice. Okay. So this is also very similar to, I think we have a middleware. Yeah, it's a middleware that does this. I want to compare. I think it was a Y middleware that does this conversion. So auto head, definitely. Method override, yep. Okay, so that's cool. So these things are built in. Dynamic paths, okay, that's reasonable. So is it determining, so it must be determining the type from right here. It definitely seems that way. Okay. Okay, now we're in business. All right, so we're getting a nice error message, or a nice warning. Let's go ahead and check this out. Async. I wonder what it's doing about error handling. It seems a little bit weird. Should check out docs. All right, cool. So I'm going to do something really cheeky and not specify the Tokyo version. We'll just let that be determined. Nice. It's doing error handling a little bit more nicely now. All right. I wonder what the type of the error message is. Okay, there's a rocket error type. I can deal with that. That seems eminently reasonable. Okay, so we're in good shape here. Let's keep going with this. Can I turn that off? I didn't know that. Okay. Okay, that's nice. What about these features? Aha. Okay, so we're probably in good shape for using stable Rust. I don't think I've switched over to 149.0 yet. And my preferred way of doing this in any event is tool chain files. I'm a big fan of being very explicit about which version of tooling we use. Let's go ahead and let that run. Suppose I should restart over here. I'm going to restart this. And let's go ahead and run this, which will do a whole bunch of compilation all over again, yet another time. So just give me a sec. Now, why exactly? There we go. Okay, cool. So we can let that compile theoretically. All right. I want to go ahead and, okay, it's going to have to install the Rust component since we're in a new version of the compiler. So let's try one of these. So if there's any sense in the world, this should fail to compile. Since we've got a parameter here, and we're not passing in a function argument. So I'll just wait and see a little bit. I'm already very happy about the fact that this is working on stable Rust with async. So that is a huge positive sign. All right, so the Rust components are completed. You can see here, my head's in the way, but yeah, so it'll go ahead and compile that. Let's see what else we're going to end up wanting to do. So returning a string is fine. Got the docs from param trait. Yeah, so what is this raw string? So that sounds like the Perl concept of having tainted variables. And I'm a big fan of that. I did Perl for a while, and I was a big fan of a few things in Perl, and that was definitely one of them. Okay. What if there's any chance that they've got the master branch generated here? Yeah. That would have been too nice. All right, so multiple segments. Ah, okay. That's like the dynamic path pieces in Yesod. Static files, like a subsite. I want to check that out almost immediately. Let's go ahead and add that in. All right, and let's create a new folder, static. Okay, fine. Let's give this a shot. All right. I wonder what kind of a rhyme type it's going to do. It's got to do the right thing. Okay, cool. Expected enum result and unit. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the code again. Okay, so something fun is going on here. Okay. That was an ugly error message. Still an ugly error message. All right. So what did I screw up? Does it not support trailing comma? No, I'm just being very dumb. Let's try that again. Implementations of trait. Still being very dumb. Let's try that again. Okay, cool. I'm getting error messages now in here. Could not find static files in Rocket. Okay, so we'll come back to that in a sec. So unused variable name. Let's see. Was I able to, in fact, take a string slice? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and pop over. All right, I should run this again. Okay. It's automatically returning HTML. That is interesting. It's very interesting. So, I'm not sure if I agree with that. Okay, that's cool. All right, next, let's figure out where this static files thing is. From Rocket contrib. Okay. Assuming I'm gonna, oh, maybe not. All right, I'm gonna have to figure out where that comes from. Let's go ahead and check out Git repo. Do this. I don't think that's right. It seems to be happy enough about that. Okay. I'll take it. That's kind of cool. All right. So theoretically now, I pop over to localhost static style.css. It hasn't finished compiling. Oh, it did finish compiling. Damn it, it's refusing to continue due to invalid static file path. Well, that's interesting. What did I screw up here? Let's try that. Am I crazy? Did I copy that incorrectly from the demo? I copied it correctly. Maybe they were expecting a Unix system, Unix file paths. Not that anyone would ever put their static files at /static. But okay. That did seem to fix it. So let's check this out. Oh, that's nice. So it's telling me exactly what it's mounted. I like that. Secret's enabled without a configured secret key. Ooh. That looks very interesting. That looks like session variables. All right, so I'm gonna dock. There we go. Let's go ahead and check out what's going on here. It is so what kind of response that is. So it does figure out the correct kind of MIME type, exactly what I would have hoped. That's nice. Now let's see if I'm able to simply fling a string full of HTML at this. Probably use a raw string at this point, but I don't remember the syntax offhand. I didn't have to be so pedantic. All right. Oh, interesting. So it's actually keeping track of pending requests. Where is there a pending request coming from? I don't see any. Oh, kill it. Okay. That looks like it might be a bug, which doesn't terribly surprise me. All right, so Rocket is launched. Let's check this out again. Next thing I want to... Ooh, okay. Okay. So I could continue reading the document, the tutorial. Yeah, I'll check it out. There's a whole bunch of stuff on requests. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead to responses. See if it says anything about HTML. The content type of the response is set to text/plain. That seems to be, well, actually, maybe I'm getting very confused. Yeah, okay, it is text/plain. Why did I think that it was HTML? Where did I see that? I saw it right here. That is definitely confusing. All right, let's see if I can convince it somehow to return something besides plain. Okay. All right. And that looks appropriate. And it has built-in support for templates using handlebars and Terra, which also looks good. Let's check this out first. Rocket response. Let's turn on dark mode, by the way. All right, that's nicer. Okay. What was the... Oh, it's just a constructor. I'm giving it the content type and the contents. Assuming there's going to be an HTML, right? Let's just try it. That would be too easy, right? All right, let's check out what this content. Oh, getting that error at the wrong place. That's where the error is coming from. Okay. Let's go ahead and compile that. Okay. So we're in good shape there. I think the next thing I want to look into is template. Streaming is built in. JSON is built in. Yeah, let's check out a JSON. Cool. All right, so built-in serialized support. I know. Let's start a counter. JSON? Yeah. Where did that come from? Okay. I'll just leave it with clone. So I'm going to need to pull in favorite. Just to get things started, let's try this. And it always helps when you spell things correctly. Hey, how's it going? Rabzor. Thanks for joining today. All right, JSON. Was it that simple? It was that simple. Okay. Cool. All right, so we've generated some JSON. Now I want to check out, can I make an actual counter instead of this fake thing? Let's see how state is managed. Okay, so on a per type basis. All managed state must be thread safe. I'm assuming, okay, so they're asking me to throw in an atomic U size. Guessing I throw in a mutex on RW lock. I'll use a mutex here. That's what I really need. So I'm assuming I can throw in the mutex and I don't have to deal with the arc. Since the framework is probably going to handle the arc part of this for me. All right, let's start off with the manage bit. Oh, let's try putting it in the correct order. And this is irritating me. Let's go ahead and format this. Nice. Okay. So that's half the story. Let's see the other half of the story, retrieving the state. And you can go ahead and put in multiple things. I'm not sure how I feel about doing this based on a type basis, and I am going to be interested to see what happens if you forget to set the right type. That seems to be pretty standard for Rust. Something that you're going to catch as an error immediately the first time you run your application. Just go ahead and let that be a runtime error instead of check to compile time. Definitely a philosophical difference with a lot of the way Haskell code is written, but it makes sense. All right. State is being managed by Rocket. I should try turning on logging, by the way. That'd be interesting. All right. Via the state type. Okay. That's fairly straightforward. So, it's also really funny seeing the difference in how in Rust people just love jumping straight in to using macros for everything. Explicit lifetime requirement. Implicit lifetime not allowed here. All right, what am I missing? Okay, I don't care about that for the moment. All right, so retrieving state. looked like I did everything correctly, so what did I do wrong? I wouldn't be surprised if I'm triggering some kind of a bug. Okay. Yeah, this definitely looks like some kind of a macro bug to me. Could be wrong. Wonder if there's some way. So I'll take that out for the moment. Wonder if there's some way I can just get the request value itself, since there's some kind of an ability within guards. Yes, you can call a request.guard. Is it as simple as this? Interesting. Ignore my horrible imports. Not very useful. All right. Trait bound from request is not implemented? Okay. I mean, to be completely fair, this is exactly what I deserve for going off of the master branch. I don't deserve anything else. Let's go back to requests. Could look at the from request. Can I just look at the impulse? Is that going to make sense? The hell is Flash? And there's state. Oh, okay. Flash message. All right, so let's check out. That's too bad. So error here is a unit as opposed to being, oh, wouldn't it be, why wouldn't it be something a little bit more interesting? All right, so from request. Yeah, I may have to give up on this part shortly. In fact, I may have to give up entirely on everything shortly, since I'm about to need to go get the kids off to school. At least the kids that are not in quarantine today. Yeah, we've had COVID outbreaks over here in some of the schools. So 2 of our kids are in quarantine right now. Okay. I guess the last thing I'm going to do then, I'll just take that off. Let's get this compiling again. All right. I guess the last thing I wanted to do was to check out the templating. Where did it go? This was it. Okay. Responses. This is not the same as JSON in Rocket Contrib. Oh, which one did I use? I did use the one from Rocket Contrib. Can I? All right, fine. Let's ignore that and let's go back to the thing I actually cared about. Let's check out templates. Gonna figure out what these fairings are. Are you guys at least, just responding to the chat, are you guys at least allowed to walk out of the house? Fresh air makes a huge difference for me and my kids, at least. What exactly are fairing? Oh. Yeah, I was. It's fortunate for us that it's the kids that are still in school are the two younger ones, the 8-year-old and the 4-year-old. They lose their minds when they're trapped inside the house. We had full lockdown. I guess last time was 8 months ago when it was a really full lockdown and no going outside at all. And that was not easy to deal with. Typed URIs. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, I'm really happy to hear this. So it's like type safe URLs in Yesod. This so far has a lot of the features that I was really hoping it was going to have. All right, so let's check this out. Type template. All right, I have no idea what I just typed in. So context, I'm going to just give it a unit, I guess. I'll find templates and so how can it not find templates and yet here it is? Oh. All right, I want to use Terra templates, I think. Okay. I think I'm going to have to call it quits at this point and come back to this another time. But this was definitely promising. More optimistic about Rocket. This will be fun to compare it to Actix a little bit later on. They seem to be the two contenders for a full, really full backend generation style framework. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the day. Talk to y'all later.